Hey there friends, Foster the Canadian here, and a lot of you have been asking me about what my thoughts are on the Xbox One reveal. And by the way, the gameplay you're seeing right here is from Two Shot's first ever game of Halo, so I didn't do too well in it, but I figured I'd throw it in there because it's kind of a special occasion. But let's get on to the point here, Xbox One. I've kind of been going back and forth in my head about how I really feel about this, so I'm going to go over pretty much everything that I can and try to give you guys my perspective on how I felt about the reveal. Now, the biggest complaint I'm hearing is about the games, or I guess I should say the lack of games in the reveal. And I don't really have a problem with it. Now, people are treating this like the Xbox One isn't going to be playing games when Microsoft right off the bat said they're saving their games for E3. It's going to be a good system for games, they just wanted to concentrate on some of the other aspects, at least that's how I feel. And yeah, they concentrated a lot on sports and TV, but if you look at the Xbox 360 now, it's a great gaming console, but they could have walked up and said, hey, the Xbox 360 is going to be partnered with Fox and ESPN, and we're going to have Crackle and Netflix and HBO Go and Hulu, and people would have had the same feelings on it. But the Xbox 360 is still a good gaming console. It doesn't take away from that. I feel it's just sort of a side note. And I'm hoping that that's the way the Xbox One is. It could be the case that, I'm totally wrong and they're concentrating heavily on the entertainment aspects of it that aren't gaming related rather than the games. But I don't think that's what's happening, and I think E3 will show that. And as far as the games go, the games that Sony showed at the PS4 reveal were really cool. I really enjoyed watching, Watch Dogs and that Capcom game. But the exclusive titles that they had were kind of underwhelming. I mean, Watch Dogs was the highlight of the entire reveal for me, and that's going to be on the Xbox One too. That sounded weird, the Xbox One too. So I didn't really expect Microsoft to go, hey look, we're showing the exact same game that Sony showed a month ago, or 2 months ago. So I wasn't really too shocked at that. And, as far as the other features go, I know that, being a Canadian, I'm not going to get a lot of those features, and that's what bugged me. What bugged me is they're concentrating on a lot of things that don't affect me. I'm not going to be getting HBO Go or the ESPN app or any of that stuff. I don't have it on the Xbox 360. I don't expect to have it on the Xbox One. It would be cool if they made it a little more worldwide. But it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Let's throw all the apps away and let's look at the actual specs of the system now. And a lot of the other complaints that people were talking about were the always online thing, or you have to connect to the internet once every 24 hours to play. And I hear a lot of people going, oh, so what, I'm connected all the time? And then I hear the other side where it's like, oh, I'm never connected ever. I don't know how I'm even typing this. But the issue with me is I am actually with one of the biggest internet companies here in Canada, and my internet still goes down constantly. Most recently, it actually went down for a good 48 hours due to wind. And that's something that, I wouldn't have been able to play video games if I was with the Xbox One. And again, we're all speculating on this stuff. It's not 100%. I don't think Microsoft has completely confirmed this. I could be wrong. I might be thinking of the trade-in and used games thing that hasn't been confirmed yet, but it doesn't look good if you're someone who can't really rely on your internet all the time. Like, Wind stopped my internet company from providing me with service, and that's not really a good thing for the Xbox One, but used games is something that I really don't care about. And I know there are a lot of people out there who buy primarily used games, but I look at it more like Steam. Like, no one complains that you can't buy used PC games because it's just so standard now that you have to buy them new or you have to buy them digitally that it's a non-issue, and I think that that's just where console games are going to go. And sure, it might suck for people right now, but it's one of the things that I feel you have to move forward with. And if this is kind of a trade-off, if I can still buy my games day one online, that would be wonderful. I don't care about used games. If I can buy my game right when it's launched without having to go out to a midnight release or anything, that would be wonderful. I hate going to those things, mainly because I like to live indoors all the time. I'm kind of a hermit. The thing that bugs me more than anything about the Xbox One is it only has 500 gigabytes, which does sound like a lot. 500 gigabytes of hard drive space, but you're going to be installing every game that you buy to your Xbox One. Every game! If I installed every game that I had right now on my 360, it would be a couple terabytes. I do not think that that's enough, especially for a next generation game. We're going to be using Blu-rays for games, which means that these games are potentially 10 to 50 gigabytes of download. I'm not saying that, every game's going to be 50 gigabytes. I doubt they'll even come close to that. But the fact is, that is one game that's going to be about 10 gigabytes to download and install every single time. Now, that paired up with, the television and everything that they're trying to include, that's not a whole lot of space. 500 gigabytes feels like something that they should have had on the 360 a couple of years ago, that they came close to. And a next generation console, I was expecting at least a terabyte. This is a bit of a smack in the face in my opinion, but hopefully it will be removable. You can upgrade it, I hope, like you can with the 360. If you can't remove your hard drive, then this is the biggest issue that I'll have with it. Other than that, the Xbox One looks like a good system that's trying to improve upon what the 360 already has. Because the 360 already has a lot to do with TV and sports and all that, and I think that they're kind of showing what the next step is, as opposed to, hey look, we're throwing games away, and now all you're going to be able to do is watch sports and TV, which I don't do a whole lot of anyway. So the 360 has a lot of these features already, and I'm going to hold all judgment until E3 as far as games go, because the games is going to be like the focal point of E3 for Microsoft. It better be, because that's what everyone was talking about, and I think Microsoft will deliver. And you heard the big complaint on the PS4 was they didn't get to see the console. First thing Microsoft did is, hey look, here's the Xbox One. Alright, so bottom line, am I going to get the Xbox One or the PS4? I'm probably leaning a little more towards the Xbox One at this point. I would like to get both, but I'm going to judge it all by their E3 performance, because I feel like Microsoft got a lot of the junk out of the way and will be concentrating on the chewy goodness that is gaming on the Xbox One. And if they do concentrate on gaming on the Xbox One at E3, that's probably going to be what I'm going towards, because the PS4, we've seen a lot of what the games will be like. I'm not sure what they still have to reveal at E3 aside from the look of the console itself. And the Xbox One, I feel like, has a lot to offer for E3, so I'm going to hold all judgment until then, and I will be making a video once E3 is over, kind of updating you guys on how I feel now. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, this is Foster the Canadian, saying see ya.